It is a known fact that every judicial court in Guyana has strict adherence to a dress code which prohibits various modes of dress, including certain colors. The High Court is even stricter on this dress code. But leader of the Liberty and Justice Party, Lennox Schumann, sought to defy the code of dress. This, however, is not an unusual practice of Schumann. Schumann has made an appearance at State House with the same attire. Schumann was, however, allowed inside the courthouse and eventually inside the courtroom. The LGP presidential candidate lamented that the initial actions of the officers were discriminatory in nature.
People don't stop people when they walk in there with a goatee. They don't stop people when they walk in there with their traditional African or Chinese attire. But yet here we have an indigenous person dressed traditionally, and I'm being stopped. My rights are being violated, my constitutional rights are being violated.
Schumann, when questioned by reporters outside the courtroom, explained that his traditional attire is not in contravention to any laws which prohibit dress code in the Supreme Court.
The fact that this is happening, you don't see anyone else being stopped going in here. I'm the only indigenous person that has a stake in this. Yet I'm not being allowed to go in.
So you're speaking about your constitutional right, but the law also speaks about indecent exposure. Do you think that will apply to this case?
What is indecent exposure? Do you think that traditional attire is indecent exposure?
No, it's not.
The LJP leader argued that the indigenous attire he wore for court on Tuesday did not illustrate indecent exposure, which from the Criminal Law Offences Act outlines criminal charges.
Last week we had one of our indigenous leaders from the National Two-Shows Council beaten and thrown in a trench on his way home. Why is that happening? Is anyone paying any attention to the unintended victims of this political war between the PDP and the PNC? The president didn't come out and say anything about that in his statement last night. The leader of the opposition said absolutely nothing. They're not interested in that. The people that end up suffering the most are the ones like myself.
Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.